Have you ever wondered why silence unsettles people more than confrontation? Why staying quiet in moments of chaos often makes others more nervous than shouting back? It's because silence isn't empty, it's strategic. It's a boundary, a weapon, and most importantly, a shield. We live in a world addicted to reaction. From notifications to arguments, we're constantly nudged to respond, to prove, to explain. But every time you choose to stay silent, you create a gap, a psychological space that unsettles the one trying to invade your peace. In that silence, you protect your emotional energy, you shield your thoughts from manipulation, and you gain control without even trying. Most people misunderstand silence. They think it's weakness, passivity, or lack of confidence. But real silence, the kind forged in awareness and intention, is a form of strength most can't even recognize, because it doesn't scream, it doesn't justify, and it doesn't beg. It simply holds the line. Think about it. The loudest arguments you've had, did they leave you empowered or exhausted? Now recall a time you stayed silent during tension. What happened? That silence, that pause, created discomfort in the other person, not in you. Why? Because they lost access. They couldn't read you, provoke you, or steer the conversation. Silence disrupts the emotional momentum of conflict. It acts like an invisible armor. No one can attack what they can't reach. And when you stop giving people access to your inner world, you regain command over your mind and your energy. There's a reason they say silence speaks louder than words, but the real strength of silence is often misunderstood. Silence is not weakness, it's not retreat, it's not surrender, it is armor. An invisible, impenetrable shield that protects your most valuable resources, your thoughts, your focus, and your energy. Think of it like this. Every time you react to provocation, you hand over a piece of your inner peace. Every emotional outburst is a crack in your armor. But when you remain silent, when you refuse to let your emotions be baited, you remain whole, you remain grounded, you remain in control. Toxic people crave reactions. They live off your energy. They want to know they've gotten under your skin, that they've disrupted your balance. But silence denies them that satisfaction. It frustrates them, it confuses them, it takes away their power. That is the true function of your invisible armor. It doesn't fight back, it absorbs the blow, neutralizes it, and leaves the attacker with nothing. The most powerful people in the world don't argue, they don't shout, they don't flinch. They listen, they breathe, they pause, they assess, and when they finally speak, their words carry the weight of wisdom, not the noise of reaction. But here's where it becomes transformative. The more you practice this calm defense, the stronger it gets. It's like a muscle. The less you react, the more powerful your presence becomes. And soon people begin to notice, not because you shouted, but because you didn't need to. They feel your strength and your restraint. They will try to provoke you, corner you, and flood your space with noise. Why? Because silence makes them uncomfortable. It doesn't give them a target to aim at. It's easier to fight loud words than to fight calm stillness. They can't manipulate a boundary they can't see. They can't control a person who doesn't flinch. That's why silence is your invisible armor. It hides your emotional core from attackers. It protects your energy from leaking into arguments that don't deserve your attention. It allows you to walk away from chaos without carrying the weight of it on your shoulders. You don't need to declare your boundaries out loud. The way you withdraw, the way you stop explaining, the way you keep your focus when they try to distract you. That's your armor in action. Let them think you're weak. Let them assume your silence is surrender. What they'll never realize is that you're building strength beneath the surface. Every time you choose not to react, you're sharpening your control. Every time you keep your energy to yourself, you're getting stronger. And as time passes, the people who used to shake you will start to fade. Their power only existed because you allowed it in. Once you stop responding, once you start guarding your energy, their influence begins to collapse. Silence isn't the absence of action. It's a strategic choice, a powerful pause between who you were and who you're becoming. It's the moment you stop bleeding energy and start collecting it. The moment you stop being a target and become untouchable. Don't just protect your mind, fortify it. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because your journey to quiet dominance starts now. They'll accuse you of being distant, of not caring, of shutting down. But what they're really saying is this: I can't reach you anymore. My words don't shake you. My tactics don't land. When you embrace the invisible armor of silence, you step out of the arena they've built for you. Silence isn't surrender. It's your declaration of emotional independence. While others waste their breath trying to provoke, explain, argue, or defend, you conserve your energy like a warrior guarding his strength for the right moment. You protect your mind from chaos, not by building walls, but by mastering your responses. When you're silent, you're not hiding, you're recalibrating. You're not disengaged, you're discerning. Your silence tells them, you don't get to live rent-free in my head anymore. And that terrifies those who thrive on attention, chaos, or validation. You see, every time you speak without being heard, you train them to ignore your voice. But when you go silent, suddenly your presence becomes louder. Your absence creates more discomfort than your presence ever did. That's when they start to wonder, what's he thinking? Why isn't she reacting? Did I lose control? And in that silence, something powerful happens. You reclaim the space in your own mind. You rebuild your boundaries, not with fences or fury, but with stillness, with dignity. You choose peace over performance, presence over persuasion, because silence is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of power. Silence isn't the absence of noise, it's the beginning of awareness. When you stop talking, the world around you gets louder, not quieter. You start to hear things that were hidden beneath the surface, the tone behind people's words, the insecurity masked by arrogance, the fear behind their anger. You begin to notice how silence starts to reshape your entire world. The chaos around you doesn't disappear, but your relationship with it does. You no longer feel the need to win arguments, to correct every misjudgment, or to defend yourself in spaces that never deserved your truth in the first place. You step out of the game entirely, and in doing so, you reclaim your power. Your silence becomes a filter, a test. It reveals who's genuinely there for connection and who only stayed because they could feed off your reactions. When you remove your emotional availability, the manipulators lose interest. The performers get uncomfortable. The insecure scramble for your validation, and when they don't get it, they fall apart. Silence exposes truth. It cuts through illusion. It doesn't need to prove anything, because its presence is proof enough. The less you say, the more people wonder, and in that wondering, they reveal themselves. Every time you stay silent instead of defending your worth, you rise above the noise. You begin to understand that peace isn't found in controlling others. It's found in controlling yourself. Have you ever considered how much energy you waste by constantly defending your peace? When you live in reaction mode, your mind is always scanning for threats, your emotions are always on edge, and your thoughts spiral out of control. But when you wear silence like armor, everything changes. You're no longer at the mercy of external noise. You become your own anchor. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's the presence of control. It's a deliberate act of mental sovereignty. When you stop feeding every comment, insult, or judgment with your attention, you take that power back. You starve the chaos. You stop inviting in every disturbance. Some people mistake your silence for weakness. They think if you're not defending yourself, you're defeated. But in reality, the strongest minds don't waste time proving their strength. They demonstrate it through calm presence and unshakable focus. Real confidence doesn't shout, it just is. And here's the secret. When you protect your mind and your energy with silence, you become magnetic. People sense something about you they can't quite explain. You become less accessible and more respected. Your quiet turns into mystery. Your boundaries become your identity. You'll notice that the more grounded you are in silence, the less validation you seek. You stop explaining your worth. You stop apologizing for choosing peace. You realize that protecting your mind doesn't require approval from anyone. It only requires commitment to yourself. So let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you stopped explaining, started listening to your intuition, and protected your energy like it was sacred? Would the noise around you still have the same power? If you're ready to build unshakable strength in silence to guard your peace like a warrior of the mind, then you're exactly where you need to be. If this resonated with you and you want more strategies for building inner strength and calm, subscribe now and hit the bell. Don't miss the next drop. Your transformation is already in motion.